All right, let's talk about one of nature's most unbelievable contradictions. We're going to look at a bird that, by all rights, should be a gentle singer, but instead, it's a stone-cold killer. This is the shrike, also known as the butcherbird, and it's a creature that is equal parts beautiful and, well, brutal. So, on one hand, you've got your typical songbird, right? Small, delicate, hopping around, eating seeds and bugs. But then you look at the shrike. It's technically in the same family, but just look at the specs. That hooked bill, a diet of rodents and other birds, and this wild behavior of impaling its prey. It's like a songbird with a raptor's soul. And that biological puzzle is exactly what we're going to get into.
So the big question is, how on earth does a bird with the songbird's body pull off being such an effective predator? Well, it all comes down to some really incredible evolutionary workarounds. Okay, so here's the catch. Unlike a hawk or an eagle, shrikes have the same dinky little perching feet as a robin. They can't crush or even really hold their prey with their talons. So evolution had to get creative. It basically concentrated all the bird's killing power into one place, its head.
And this is the shrike's secret weapon. It's called a tomiel tooth. See that sharp, triangular notch on its beak? That is a precision weapon. It's almost exactly like the notch on a falcon's beak, and it's designed for one thing and one thing only: to slip between vertebrae and sever the spinal cord.
So how does it actually use this thing? It's not just a simple bite. It's this brutally efficient four-step process. The shrike spots its prey, dives, grabs it by the neck, and then it unleashes this incredibly violent and rapid head shake. It's that motion, combined with that razor-sharp tooth, that makes this little bird so incredibly lethal.
And get this, the physics here are just mind-blowing. That head shake generates about 6 Gs of force. It literally uses the inertia of its prey's own body to snap its neck. This lets a bird that weighs maybe as much as a handful of change kill vertebrates that are sometimes more than double its own body weight. It's an absolutely stunning piece of biomechanical engineering.
But the story doesn't stop once the prey is dead. Oh no. What the shrike does next is its most famous and, let's be honest, most grisly behavior. It creates something called a larder.
This pantry of impaled animals on thorns and barbed wire is pure genius on so many levels. It's not just for storing leftovers. It's a tool. It anchors the food so the shrike can use its weak feet to tear it apart. It's also a billboard for attracting a mate. The male with the biggest, gnarliest larder is the most attractive. And, maybe the most amazing part, it's a chemistry lab.
Right. So that whole chemistry lab thing, this is what we mean. Shrikes have figured out how to eat things that are poisonous. They can't just chow down on a toxic lubber grasshopper right away. So what do? They spear it on a thorn and just leave it there for a day or two. The sun and the air actually break down the toxins, turning what was a deadly meal into a perfectly safe one. They are literally detoxifying their own food.
You know, it's really no surprise that a bird with habits like these has captured the human imagination for centuries. In German folklore, they called it the Virginel, which means choking angel. I mean, what a perfect name to capture that blend of beauty and brutality.
Okay, so after building up this incredible, resourceful creature, we have to turn to a much, much darker part of its story. Because this master predator, for all of its cleverness and skill, is in deep, deep trouble. Just look at that number. The figures are absolutely staggering. The loggerhead shrike, one of only 2 shrike species in North America, has seen its population crash by almost 70% since the 1960s. That's not just a decline, that's a collapse. In some places, like the Northeast, it's basically already gone.
And that forces you to ask a really critical question. Why? What on earth could possibly take down such an adaptable and brutally effective hunter?
Well, the sad truth is there's no single smoking gun. It's more like a death by 1,000 cuts. Pesticides from the insects they eat build up in their bodies. Our modern clean farming, which tears out thorny hedgerows, robs them of their nesting sites and their larders. They hunt along roadsides and get hit by cars. And of course, climate change is messing with their food supply.
But the shrike's disappearance isn't just about losing one fascinating bird. Its story has a much bigger meaning. It's a powerful warning about the health of the entire landscape.
This is what biologists call a sentinel species. Think of it like the classic canary in a coal mine. The fate of the shrike is a direct reflection of the health of its ecosystem. So if the shrike is vanishing, it means the whole system that supports it is starting to break down.
And that brings us to what we can do about it. Saving the shrike isn't about some complicated high-tech solution. It's about bringing back the messiness to our landscapes. It means replanting those thorny hedgerows, leaving wild edges around fields, and cutting back on pesticide use. We basically need to restore the complex, chaotic habitat this bird evolved to master.
When you get right down to it, the story of the shrike is really a story about balance. It's this exquisite, delicate balance between a songbird and a raptor, between a predator and its prey, and between a creature's unique behavior and the environment that makes it all possible. And we are right on the verge of breaking that balance for good.
And that kind of leaves us with one final, sobering thought. The shrike's decline is a huge alarm bell ringing out across the fields. As this one fascinating, brutal, beautiful bird falls silent, you have to wonder, what other intricate, vital stories are disappearing from our world before we even learn how to listen to them?